In the cold grasp of the North Atlantic, far from the Scottish coast, lie the Flannan Isles. For centuries, sailors spoke of them in hushed tones, islands cloaked in mist and old superstitions. At the dawn of the 20th century, a new sentinel stood guard upon the largest isle, Eilean Mor, a lighthouse, a beacon of hope against the treacherous sea. But this sentinel held a dark secret, one that would soon become one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. Life for the three keepers James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur was a cycle of duty and isolation. Their world was the rhythmic sweep of the lamp, the polished brass, the endless horizon, followed by those three keepers. They were seasoned men, accustomed to the raw power of the ocean and the profound loneliness of their post. Their logbook entries spoke of routine tasks, of the wind and waves, a testament to their steady hands and unwavering commitment. They were the lonely guardians of the light, their lives dictated by the turning of the tides and the setting of the sun. But with the sea as a fickle master, and even the most experienced mariner knows to fear its wrath. On the night of December 15th, 1900, the sky began to curdle. A storm of unimaginable fury, a perfect storm, as some would later call it, descended upon the Isles. On the mainland, ships reported the Flannan had gone dark. For days, the tempest raged, cutting Eilean Mor off from the rest of the world. As the waves, monstrous and black, crashed against the cliffs, the lighthouse, and the three men inside of it, were swallowed by the impenetrable darkness. And the silence that followed was more terrifying than any storm. When the relief vessel, the Hesperus, finally reached the island on Boxing Day, an unnerving quiet greeted them unexpectedly. The landing was eerily still. Joseph Moore, the relief keeper, blew the ship's whistle and fired a flare, but there was no response from the lighthouse. A deep sense of dread settled over the crew. Moore rowed ashore alone, his heart pounding with each pull of the oars. He ascended the steep steps carved into the rock, his calls echoing into the empty air. He found the lighthouse door unlocked. Inside, the silence was absolute, broken only by the mournful whistle of the wind through the empty stairwell. The clock on the kitchen wall had stopped. A meal was left untouched on the table, a chair overturned, as if someone had left in a great hurry. But of the three keepers, there was no sign. They had vanished. A search of the island revealed more disturbing clues. The west landing, a structure set over 100 feet above sea level, was severely damaged. Iron railings were bent and twisted out of shape, and a supply box that had been cemented into the rock was gone, torn from its moorings. A massive scar on the cliffside, nearly 200 feet up, testified to the colossal power of the waves that had battered the island. It seemed the rogue wave of impossible size had swept over the isle, but how could it explain the disappearance of all three men at once? Regulations strictly forbade all keepers from leaving their post at the same time. The logbook offered the last cryptic clues. Entries spoke of the terrible storm, of winds the likes of which Thomas Marshall had never seen in 20 years. One entry noted James Ducat was very quiet and Donald MacArthur had been crying. The final entry, on December 15th, read simply, "Storm ended, sea calm. God is over all." But the storm hadn't ended. It was only just beginning. Sometimes life throws a mystery at you so profound, it feels like staring into the abyss. You're searching for answers, trying to find a solid piece of evidence, something to hold on to in a sea of uncertainty. It's in those moments of quiet contemplation that we seek a bit of comfort, a small anchor in our own world. That feeling of searching, of wanting something reliable, reminds me, if you're looking for some great finds, things you can actually get your hands on, I've curated a collection of products I love over on my TikTok shop. They won't solve the Flannan Isles mystery, but they might just bring a little light into your day. I'll drop the link in the description below if you want to check it out. Now, let's get back to the shadows of Eilean Mor. What happened to those men? Theories swirled like the island fog. Did a giant wave, a freak of nature, crash over the cliff and sweep all three away as they tried to secure equipment? Perhaps one keeper was washed away, and the other two perished trying to save him. Or was there something more sinister at play? Local legends spoke of ancient spirits and the little people who resented the lighthouse's intrusion. Some whispered of a fight, of madness born from isolation that ended in a tragic murder-suicide, the killer throwing himself into the sea after his grim work. Others imagined sea serpents, foreign spies, or even abduction by an otherworldly craft. The possibilities are as vast and as deep as the ocean itself, each one a fleeting shadow in the mist, offering no solid answers, only more questions. The mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse has never been solved. The official inquiry concluded that the men were likely washed away by an abnormally large wave, but this explanation has never fully satisfied the public imagination. It doesn't account for the untouched meal, the overturned chair, or the strange logbook entries. The disappearance left a permanent scar on maritime history, a chilling reminder of the sea's power and the fragility of human life against its might. Today, the lighthouse is automated, its beacon sweeping across the empty, endless ocean night after night. It stands as a silent, lonely monument to the three souls it failed to keep safe, its light a constant haunting question mark against the darkness. As we imagine that solitary tower, its light piercing the gloom, we are left with a final haunting image. The empty rooms, the silent clock, the cold, untouched meal. The lighthouse stands, but its keepers are gone, their fates forever bound to the wind and the waves. They have become part of the island's folklore, ghosts in the fog, their story a chilling lullaby sung by the unforgiving Atlantic. The light continues to shine, but the darkness of what happened on that December night over a century ago remains. If stories like this fascinate you, EerieDoseYT is where the unexplained lives. The truth is often stranger and far more terrifying than fiction. Subscribe and step deeper into the darkness with us as we explore real horror, real stories, and real-life events that actually happened. This is EerieDoseYT. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave your own theories about the Flannan Isles in the comments below.